Hi everyone, welcome to Software Testing Mentor and RCV Academy. Today I have with me Raju Kotapalli, who is an engineering graduate from a civil engineering background and wants to get started into the software testing field. He has been studying all the software testing related courses and been actually practicing software testing till now after passing out. So he has built a lot of skills, and I have his resume with me to get started with the manual testing interview questions today. And this interview questions will be, very basic as of now to understand where exactly Raju stands. And then we'll progress further with more advanced topics with Raju in upcoming interviews, mock interviews as well. So welcome, Raju Kotapalli.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Hi.
Hello, Raju. So how are you doing today, and how has your day been till now?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay, good. So, Raju, I want to inform that this video is recorded. It will be recorded. This mock interview will be recorded, and it will be posted on the YouTube channel for other viewers to have a look, and they also get an understanding how the interviews actually get conducted. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, fine.
Cool. So let's get started, Raju. Can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, myself, Raju. I am from Bangalore. I have completed my BTech Civil Engineering in AP. Okay, in 2019. Then I have completed my courses recently, manual testing course and automation testing courses.
Cool.
Mm,
Anything that you want to highlight from your project that you did in your college or project that you did in your course, in
yeah, I
software
have
testing
done.
course?
No, sir. I have done my civil engineering course. I like mm, designing,
Okay.
designing
Okay.
house
All right.
designings. Right.
All right. And when you did the software testing course, did you do any project as part of the course?
No, sir.
Nothing. Okay. So it was
Yeah,
more of a
basic stuff.
basic software testing course. Okay. Cool. That's fine. So we'll start with very basic today to understand what your understanding is in terms of software testing as a fresher, because nobody is going to ask you very deep details about the
Okay.
software testing as a fresher, right? So actual interviews will be very basic as such. So let's get started. And the first question I would like to ask is, can you tell me about the levels of testing or levels of software testing?
Yeah, there are generally recognized four types of four level linked level of testing, where unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testings.
Okay, that's good. And did you learn this in your course, or did you learn this on your own?
Yeah, I have learned only videos,
Only.
online class videos. Yeah,
Okay.
online classes. Yeah,
Online lessons. Okay, that's good. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. So you are correct on there. There are four levels of testing: unit, integration, system, and acceptance. Can you elaborate a little bit on, say, for example, what is unit testing? If I
Unit testing is done by software, done by developers by every code, checking every piece of code, uh, ensure every unit working as according to the requirement, and the test each part of software is separately.
right. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is preferred. It is testing preferred by only developers.
Right. Okay. So yeah, mostly it is most of the time it's developers, but some people might argue that testers also do it, especially if you are a white box tester. So white box tester has access to the code. So mostly in my career, in my overall career, I haven't done any unit testing, right? So it
Okay.
is mostly done by developers. That's correct. But some people might be doing, or some testers who are actually more into the development work might be doing or writing unit test as well. But that's very, very rare. Okay. So that's fine. And unit testing, as you have explained, that each of the small units or the code that is being written by the developer, they ensure, say, for example, they are writing a particular method. They want to ensure that those methods are working as expected. Okay, so they will write unit tests to ensure that the method that they have written or the classes that they have written are providing the expected output. Okay,
Okay.
so this is about the test level. What do you understand about the acceptance testing? So unit testing you have explained. Can you explain what exactly is acceptance testing as well?
Testing, I don't know.
Okay, okay. So acceptance testing is, so you have explained about the four test levels. Unit
Yeah, yeah,
testing is done by developers most of the time. Acceptance testing is another, test level. So it is the test level wherein mostly the business or the product owner will accept, or they will make sure that the actual functionality, whatever functionality that used to be implemented in the application, has been implemented and the software or the application is working as expected. It is meeting the acceptance criteria. So what is acceptance criteria? It is basically, say for example, I am the customer, I want something to be developed. Okay, and as a customer, I'll provide the details. Say, for example, I want to build an e-commerce website, then
yeah.
I will provide the requirements. For example, I want to have the login functionality. Somebody should be able to register. Once the user is able to register, they should be able to buy the products. They should be able to check out, make the payment. These are the high level acceptance criteria. In the acceptance testing, as the end user or as the customer, I want to ensure that all these functionalities or the acceptance criterias are working as expected. Say, for example, let's take a website, Flipkart, right? So, Flipkart, if developers are working on it, there would be some people who is the customer. We are the customer, right? So, we are able to register, we are able to log in, we are able to buy product, pay the amount when we buy the product. So all these scenarios that we do as an end user are the acceptance criteria. Okay. And when we
Okay.
verify that the acceptance criteria are met, that is acceptance testing. And there is a complete separate phase of acceptance testing, which is user acceptance testing, UAT phase, which
Yeah,
happens
you
after SIT, system integration testing. That is the phase wherein the end user requirements are, or how the business will interact with the system or end user will interact with the system, that is being verified. Okay.
okay, sir.
All
Yeah.
right. So another very basic question is, can you name some of the types of testing?
Types of testing like sanity testing, functional testing, regression testing, ad hoc testing, exploratory testing, alpha testing, beta testing, white box testing, black box testing.
Right. Yeah. Good. Good. So there are hundreds and hundreds. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
yes,
start, counting the type of testing, there are hundreds of
under
testing.
testing.
But when somebody asks about the type of testing, you can basically segregate, in functional and non-functional. You can say there are functional testing and non-functional testing. In the functional testing, you can name some of the functional testing. For example, unit testing,
Unit testing,
integration.
integration testing, and
Yes,
system testing, user UAT testing,
that's correct.
and regression testing, retesting,
Yep,
like.
yep. And non-functional testing, if I ask?
Non-functional is load testing, stress testing, performance testings, and like, yeah,
Yeah, excellent. Cool. So you are going through a lot of material. I
yeah, yeah.
understand that functional, non-functional testing, which is really good. So yes, just keep reading through, going through the YouTube videos. There are a lot of good content out there. So it will help you to build more skills around that. Okay. So that's
Okay.
good. Let's move to the next question. So the next question is, can you explain the difference between white box and black box testing?
White box, black box, black box testing is software testing method. In which the internal structure and design implementation of the items being tested or not is not. And black box testing is mostly used software tester.
Mm-hmm.
It is preferred. It is not a preferred algorithm testing. It is applicable high-level testing of software,
Mm-hmm.
and it is functional test of software. The black box testing is functional test of software.
Right.
It can be preferred external software testing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is
Cool.
black box testing.
Mm-hmm.
White box testing, it is also software testing method in which the internal structures designing implementation of item being tested,
Mm-hmm.
and it is mostly done software developers.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it is preferred algorithm testing, and
Mm-hmm.
it is mostly time consuming, and uh, it is structural test of software,
Mm-hmm.
and it is preferred uh, internal structure internal testing software.
Yeah.
mm,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
it uh,
Yeah.
it is mandatory having knowledge of programming.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. So yes, you are correct in terms of black box and white box testing. The only thing, the only suggestion here I have is, if you can be more clear. So be more clear in terms of when you are explaining black box testing, you pick a point and then in continuation you pick another point, and your sentences should be in continuation, right? So that's one
Okay.
of the input, and then similarly for the white box. So you don't stop, or you do not you make sure whatever you read, you are able to articulate that in front of interviewer, right? So if I would have to explain about the black box testing and white box testing, try to keep it very simple. Do not think about lot of complicated stuff that you see over the internet. Try to simplify it and try to explain it in terms of example. So like black box testing, so you can give a simple example. Black box testing is when a person or a tester doesn't have the knowledge of the internal structure or how the actual mechanism is within the box. So that is why that black box came in picture, right? So black box, I do not know what is inside the box. Okay. So
Yes,
as
sir.
a tester,
Yeah.
for me, I don't know the internal structure or how the code is written, how the methods are being called, etc. When I'm doing the testing without the knowledge of internal code structure, the calls, the method, that is black box testing. In terms of white box testing, I know the internal structure, what's the hierarchy, how the methods are being called. Okay. And white box testing will be
Yeah.
mostly done by developers. Black box testing is what we do in terms of in any software testing project, right? So try to keep it simple. Your answer was correct, no issues with that. Just try to keep it a little bit
Okay.
simple and make it more presentable, I would say. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay.
cool. So moving to the next question, Raju, can you explain what is retesting?
Retesting. Retesting means the process of checking specific test cases, like that found the bugs in final execution.
Mhm.
Generally, testers test. Hello.
Yes, yeah, I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Tester find the bugs while testing software application, and assign it to developers to fix it, and developers bugs fixed and assign the tester for verifications.
Yeah, yes. So they are basically, so in retesting, you mean to say when a defect is found, say for example, one of the test case failed, the defect is raised
Yes,
against
yes, yes,
that
yes.
test case, is assigned to the developer. Once that defect has been fixed, they re-execute that test case for which the defect is raised, right?
Yeah.
So that's retesting of the defect and basically
Yeah.
re-executing that test case. Yeah, that's correct. So on the similar lines, what is regression testing?
Regression testing, it is verify recent code changes haven't altered and destroyed already existing functionality of system.
Mhm.
Uh,
Can you give
uh,
me an example?
it's
So let's take an example. Say, I'll give you a scenario.
okay.
Similar e-commerce website. Okay. So so there is a registration functionality on a website, and registration is possible using Facebook, Google, Twitter, and email. Okay. Now, when the tester was doing a testing, they found that registration is working fine for Twitter, Google, and email, but not working correctly for Facebook accounts. If somebody is trying to register using Facebook account, they are not able to register. So if you have to do the regression testing after this defect will be fixed, what will be your what will be the set of test cases that you will take as part of this scenario for regression testing?
Test cases. You may
Yes.
asking test cases.
Yes, yeah. Because see,
Test.
regression testing, in retesting, you will be, so if Facebook registration is failing, so you will be failing that particular test case or couple of test cases, and those test cases you will retest once the defect will be fixed, right? So it will be mostly Facebook related test cases you will re-execute or retest. But in the regression testing, what will you do? Will you just retest that defect and the failed test cases, or you will do something more?
I don't know.
Okay, okay. So I'll explain this, because see, this
Yeah.
is how you should understand, right? And how you should be you will be asked. So in the regression testing, as you have explained, you knew that you want to verify that whatever was working before that defect was fixed is still working, right? So I told you that Google registration was working, email registration was working, Twitter registration was working. Only Facebook registration failed, and you raised a defect for that. Once that defect is fixed, you will retest that defect. Okay. But if you have to do regression testing, what regression testing is, it is the verification of the existing functionality. You want to ensure that whatever existing was working before as part of the registration is still working. So what things were already working as part of the registration? Twitter registration was working, email
Google.
registration was working, and Google registration was working, right?
Yes.
So you will
Yes.
pick some of the test cases from these three, right? From these three:
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Twitter, email,
Google.
and Google.
Google.
Some of the
Yes.
test cases from these three, and you will also verify that these three registration functionalities are still working after the Facebook defect was fixed. So this whole set of test cases that you will execute is regression testing of registration module. Got it?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Got
Because
it.
you know the definition, right? Now this is the practical how you will do
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
actual. So
Yeah.
whenever
Okay.
you'll go in the project, you will identify regression test cases. It's your responsibility as a tester to identify what regression test cases you will be picking up and executing. Okay,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
cool. All right. Okay, so we have done retesting, regression testing. Now let's move further a little bit, more topic around cross-browser testing. Can you explain me what exactly is cross-browser testing?
Cross-browser testing is non-functional testing. It is what you whether your website is works on when intended when accessed through the different browsers, different devices, and different combined OS and different assistive tools. like
Right.
Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Opera Mini, and
Absolutely. Yeah. And
yeah,
did you mention it's a
device.
non-functional testing? Cross-browser testing is non-functional testing. Did you mention that, or
Yeah, yes.
so? Why did you mention it's a non-functional testing? Any reason for that?
I don't know that reason.
Okay.
Tell me that
Okay.
reason.
Okay. So cross-browser testing is, mostly verifying. So say, for example, you have a website. So Flipkart, say for example, right? Flipkart, I think it's very widely used in India. Amazon is used.
Yeah, yes,
So when
yes,
you launch Amazon on Chrome, you should be able to launch it successfully. You should be able to purchase item. It should be visible, or all the items should be visible. You should be able to navigate through and do the purchase. Now, if you go to the Edge browser or Internet Explorer, it should still work. If you go to
yes,
Safari, right, so it should still work. So you have answered that question. That cross-browser testing is basically verifying that your website or portal works perfectly fine. The functionality of your portal works perfectly fine in different browsers. So there can be different combination of hardware and browsers. Okay, there will be different versions of browsers. So Chrome has so many versions, Firefox has so many versions, and you don't know which version the customer will be using. Okay, so they might be using Windows 7 with some other version of Firefox.
Windows 10.
They might be using Windows 10 with some other version of Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer or Safari. So when
Yes,
we say cross-browser testing, it's basically verifying that the functionality of your website or application works perfectly fine in different browsers. Okay, which is correct, but it
okay,
is functional testing. Okay, it is
yeah,
verifying the functional aspects of your website on different browsers. So it could be combination of functional, non-functional,
yeah,
but mostly cross-browser testing is to verify the look and feel, the functionality, the navigation uh, on a different browsers. Why this is done? Because most of the time, say for example, my website, Software Testing Mentor and rcvacademy.com, right? I want to ensure that when you open that website on Android with Chrome, it's visible to you. You can read it properly. You can navigate through the website. If
yeah,
you open
yes,
it on iPhone with Safari, you are able to also view it properly. So when I do this sort of testing, this is cross-browser testing. Now,
yeah,
manually doing this testing is very tedious. So there are a lot many companies nowadays which provide you a combination of different platforms and browsers. So you can, Google and see cross-browser testing, and there'll be a lot of companies that are there which will provide you different platforms to verify the application on different browsers and combinations like that. Okay, so
okay,
your understanding is correct. You just need to
yeah,
ensure that do not mention specific functional,
okay,
non-functional. You mentioned specific non-functional testing, which is not
yeah,
correct there. Okay.
okay, okay.
All right. So now coming to the functional and non-functional testing. So can you explain me the difference between the functional and non-functional testing?
Non-functional functional testing, it is performed before non-functional testing. It uh, it helps to behavior applications.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yes.
it describes the what to the product does,
Mm-hmm.
and it is easily defined. Functional testing is easily defined, and it is a customer requirement.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Yeah.
It is help to uh, it is help to validate. Uh,
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So customer requirements you mentioned, that's fine. Um, anything about non-functional testing?
Non-functional testing, it is customer expectation. It is based on customer exception, and it is difficult to define, and it is different how to the product to work, and it is hardly working manually.
Yeah, good. So whatever you have mentioned is I can understand that you have read, the books or blogs.
Yeah.
You haven't given any examples. So can you give me an example? So let's take a website.
See login page. Functional
Yes.
testing is the login page.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For example, login page, like username and password.
Mm-hmm. So you verify that whether the
Uh,
user is able
Whether
to
is
log in successfully with valid
yeah,
username and password, right? So when you say
password. Yes.
login page, you try to be very clear about things, right?
Okay.
Because login
Yes.
page, I can come up with 10 different test cases on login functionality itself, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so you have to be very specific when you explain functional testing of login functionality. So verify the user is able to log in successfully with valid username and password. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the functional testing.
Yeah.
Any
Function.
non-functional, so what is the non-functional aspect of the login page testing? What will you do? What will you test in the non-functional testing of the same login functionality? Any example around that?
I forget.
Okay, no problem.
I
I'll
remember.
yeah, I'll explain that. So, say for example, you mentioned that functional testing is verifying the functionality of the application. So, login functionality, registration functionality, how the user will interact with the application and whether the user is getting the outcome what he's expecting. Okay, so whether I'm able to successfully log in using correct username and password or not on a particular portal. If I'm able to log in, that's
Yeah.
functional testing. The
Functional testing.
non-functional aspect of that same login functionality is I provide username, I provide password, and I click on login button, and it takes 10 seconds to log in, right?
Yeah. Yes. I got
So
it.
10 seconds. So
Seconds.
I'm just waiting. There is a wheel,
Yeah.
going round and round, and login happens after 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So is this good user experience? It's not, right? Because it is taking so much time to log into the portal, and I can't wait 10 seconds to just log in to a particular portal, right? So when we test this non-functional aspect of the functionality, we
Functionalities.
say it performance, or we say it, usability or reliability. Okay, so that is non-functional
Okay.
aspect. The response time. So what are the criteria in the non-functional testing? You check the response time.
Yes.
If the application is able to take the load of the application or load of the users. Now, say for example, Amazon website. Can you imagine how many people access Amazon website at a single point of time, right? Thousands and thousands of people, millions of
Yeah.
people
Yes.
hit the website at one particular time, and there is
Yes.
a there is very little delay. Within seconds or within milliseconds the website loads, and you are able to log in, you are able to do the purchase,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes,
how
sir.
is it all possible? It is through the non-functional
Non-functional testing.
testing. They ensure that if there are 10,000 users hitting directly on the website, still the performance or the load time of the page is less than certain seconds. Okay, and as you mentioned, it is difficult to articulate the non-functional criterias. It is difficult, but it is not that difficult. So customer knows what exactly the response time they are looking for. So usually how it is done, they look for the competitors, the market competitors, how the other websites are performing, and based on that they will mention the criteria that for the login it should be less than 1 second. User should be able to log in. If there are 100 concurrent users, this should be the response time. So all these things are non-functional testing. Try to get as many examples as you can. So
Okay.
theoretical wise, your concepts are good. You have
Okay.
read, you know things. You just have to correlate that with practical, with the
Okay,
actual
sir.
examples. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. Can you name some of the non-functional testing types?
Non-functional testing types. Performance testing, load testing, stress testing.
Yeah, good. That's good. All right. Okay. So moving next, what is the difference between defect severity and priority?
Defect severity, it is defined degree of impact, which is degree of impact that defects has on the operation of product, and it is associated functionalities and standards that indicate high severity to low priority status. Is status basics on technical accept of product, and it is indicate seriousness of the defects on the uh, product functionalities. It is five categories: critical, major, and mm, moderate, minor, and cosmetic. This is severity. Priority, it is defined order in which developer should resolve a defect. It is associated scheduling,
Right.
and it is indicated as soon bugs were fixed, and it is indicate high priority, low severity, and status. And its status based on customer requirement. It is categories three types: high, medium, low. This is
Right.
priority. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So your answer is absolutely correct. Severity and priority. Uh, so in terms of severity and priority, you mentioned the categories are basically low, medium, high,
Yeah, yeah.
and severity, low, medium, high, critical blocker. It can be as per the organization. Usually whatever you mentioned is what the organizations usually follow. So you have explained the definition. Can you give me an example of high priority and high severity, or high severity and high priority defect? Any example that you can think of?
High priority means
So you have mentioned, you have told that high priority is the or high severity is basically the impact of the defect on the application as such, right? How bad the defect is. That's the severity. And priority is in terms of scheduling. What is the business impact of it? So considering these two things, can you think of, now I'll give you an example, or a function, say for example. So login functionality, let's take same example. Login functionality, if login functionality is broken on a website and you raise a defect for it, what type of, so what do you think it will, it be high priority, high severity, high priority, low severity? What do you think this
uh,
defect should be categorized
mm,
as?
high priority
And
and low severity.
low severity.
Yeah.
Why low severity? Login functionality itself is not working. So I can't log in. I can't. So this is a e-commerce website, say for example. I need to log
Okay.
in to do the purchase. So I need to definitely log in to make a purchase. So now what do you think? Is it still low
I don't.
severity? Okay. So severity you mentioned, right? So severity is
Yeah,
how severe. Uh, so severity is in terms of whether this particular defect will block the further testing. Okay. So now when we talk about login functionality, now if you're not able to log in itself, or a customer is not able to log in itself, you can't do anything further. Okay. You can't purchase product, you can't add the items in card, you can't, no other functionality is possible. So any defect which will block you as a tester or the customer to perform any mandatory functionality on the software or the application is high severity. Okay.
okay, sir, I see.
And this is high severity and high priority because if, for example, Amazon website, you are not able to log in and it is down for 1 hour, people are not able to buy. Can you imagine how
Yeah,
much revenue loss is there? how much money Amazon is going to lose in that 1 hour. They are going to lose millions and millions of dollars,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
the business impact or the money impact is huge.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yes,
because
sir.
of that, it is high
I
priority as
feel.
well. You got
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Priority
Yeah.
is
Got it.
mostly because how much business impact is there. In terms of money, in terms of reputation, it could be anything. It could be in
Yeah.
terms
Yes,
of
sir.
reputation as well. When I say reputation, say for example, there is a IBM website, okay? And on
Okay.
their main website, main page, there is a spelling mistake. There are a couple of spelling mistakes on the
Yeah.
main
Yes.
page, home page, okay? Which is public facing, right? Now, these spelling mistakes, are they high severity? Are they high severity?
Yeah. High
Is it?
severity.
So, website still launching, you can read, but there are just spelling mistakes on the website. Do you think it is high severity?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's not high severity because
The spelling mistake is.
a spelling mistake is high priority. So it could be, it's not breaking anything. Customer will be able to, you know, see the website. He will be able to do any functionality that he wants to. But it is not blocking as such anything, right? So it is not very severe, but it is high priority because it is reputational damage, because it's a
Okay.
spelling mistake, it's a brand damage, right? There are spelling mistakes. So
Yeah.
it is
Yes.
not blocking you. So that is why it is not high severity. It is low severity but high priority.
Severity. Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's how you categorize. So high severity, high priority. Low severity, high priority. It could be high
Yes.
priority, right? Low severity.
Yes.
Spelling mistakes are not breaking the system. when
Yeah.
we
Yes,
say
sir.
when we say severity is how, whether that defect is breaking the system, whether that defect is blocking you from doing
Okay.
certain functionality. When it comes to priority, it is business, it is dollars, it is, a revenue, it is reputation. What business thinks in that aspect? Okay,
Yes, sir.
clear?
Yeah. Clear that.
Okay, good. So try to get these examples. It will be really helpful, and you will make a lot, very good impression in front of, interviewer. When you give
Okay.
these, examples, you will give all the definition that you have learned. Add these examples. You will definitely be through. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So let's move to next question. So can you name some of the test management tools that you know of?
The test management tools like Q test,
Mm-hmm.
X-ray,
Mm-hmm.
Jira,
Yeah.
uh, X-ray, Jira, QXQL,
Mm-hmm.
test pad, test rail,
Right.
RTM,
Yeah. Yeah.
mm, Taki test.
Yes, that's correct. So yeah, you named a couple of them. So Jira in itself is not a test management tool. Jira is agile project management tool, but
Yeah.
the
Yes.
X-ray is a plugin that you can install in Jira. Zephyr is another plugin that you can install in Jira. So there are many plugins that you can install in Jira and enable test management functionality within it. Okay. And
Okay.
um, can you briefly explain what exactly test management tool do, or what you can do in the test management tool?
Test management tools allow teams of manage the test cases, environment, and
Mhm.
automation testers and defects and project tasks.
Right.
And also it include dashboards.
Yes. Yeah. So all your testing, artifacts, your
Yeah,
executions, you can
execution.
do test reporting. Okay. So all of that, yes, you can do within test management tools. So that's good. Um, just so nowadays, Jira with X-ray or Zephyr is very, very widely used. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So try to go through Zephyr plugin for Jira.
Okay.
I have the complete tutorial series on Zephyr for Jira. I have a couple of tutorial series for Jira on the channel. Try to go through those. You will build a lot of good knowledge how you can write the test cases within these tools. how you execute the test cases, what are the reports. Okay, so it's
Okay.
just like 1 or 2 hours of your time on those series, but you will know in and out of the test management tool and how the
Yeah.
defects are also managed within Jira. Okay, so just spend a
Okay.
little bit of time there. Now coming back to the another question. So name couple of defect management tools as well. Can you name some of the defect management tools?
Defect management tools.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So test management tool, most of them. So now when we talk about Zephyr and Jira, so Jira has defect management functionality within it. Okay. When you add Zephyr or you add X-ray plugin, you get test management and defect management in one tool. Within Jira, you
Okay.
get all that functionality. But there are some standalone defect management tool. So somebody might ask you in interview, do you know any defect management tool? So in that case, you can just mention, Jira has built-in defect management functionality. You can mention Jira. You can mention Bugzilla is very popular open source
Yeah.
defect management tool, Bugzilla, which only does defect management. They don't do test management as such. So you can just manage defects and you have defect life cycle. Okay, so
Yeah.
understand
Defect
this
tools. I know,
difference.
sir.
Sorry.
Defect tools. Defect tools. I know.
Okay, yeah.
Jira, Bugzilla, .NET, Bugnet, and
Yes,
UTrack, Tracker, DevTrack,
yes,
Joho.
yes, that's
Uh,
correct. That's correct. Yes.
yeah.
So all these, um,
HPALM.
HPALM. HPALM has
Uh,
test management as well as defect management. It's included within
uh,
one. So you just have to just read a little bit and you understand that some test management tool will have defect management built in, or there will be plugins that will be available. So in Jira, there are plugins. Jira has defect management within. Plugin enable test management within Jira. So it becomes one package. So you don't have separate defect management, separate test management. But there are many smaller companies, right, which do not have budget to have big tools or big budgets. So what they do is they use open source tools. Okay, so like TestLink is open source. So
yes.
TestLink is test management tool, which is open source. So they'll use TestLink for test management and Bugzilla, which is open source, which is free
Open source.
for defect management. So they will be having two tools. Test management tool will be separate. Defect management will be separate. Right. So it is just that brief understanding, but once you know all these concepts, it will be very easy for you to explain. Okay. But
Okay.
most of the time you will find that test management tool will have defect management and test management within itself. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Cool. So that brings to the end of this today's interview, Raju. It was very nice talking to you. And do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So in terms of feedback, I would say try to read a little bit more, watch the videos that are available over the internet, read the blogs from Atlassian website, which is Jira blogs.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot many other testing tools. There are a lot of blogs people have written. So blogs are very helpful. And then whenever you are preparing for the interview, make sure you always have some examples. So if somebody asks you what is system testing, you explain what is system testing, and you also have an example, the real example, be it a particular website or any application. You can explain them that this is how I will do system testing on this module. Okay,
Okay.
this is very important. And when I post my videos, if you watch the series that I have posted, I try to explain all these concepts in a practical way, so that if you just pick those examples and can explain to the interviewer, you will be in very good shape and you will be making a very good impression if you have those examples. Okay,
Okay.
so just try to correlate whatever knowledge you have. You have good theoretical knowledge, okay, but try to correlate it with the practical examples, and that will give you a very good understanding and good exposure in terms of interview. Okay.
Okay.
And hopefully in maybe 1 or 2 weeks I'll be in touch with you, so how you
Okay.
are going, how you are preparing, whether you are getting call or not, and then how your interviews are going, and we can connect again, and let's make sure that you get into testing very soon. All
Okay,
right.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Cool. All right. So thank you, Raju, and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.